Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to Final Fantasy IX. Last time we were just going and doing some additional bits in between Evil Forest and the Ice Cavern. Just before setting foot in the Ice Cavern this time, there's one or two things I wanted to mention. For those who are unfamiliar, each of your characters has hit points and magic points or mana points, which are used to cast spells and to use abilities. So at the moment, all of my characters are on max hit points because I used Garnet's Cure spell to heal them all. And if I just have a look, for example, at Garnet's Cure, you can see that it costs 6 MP to use, and she has a maximum total of 52 MP, of which she's got 34 remaining. You can use potions or high potions, and there are other varieties of potion that will turn up later on, to heal your hit points. They heal for 150 in battle, 100 outside of, and 450 in battle, 300 outside of for potions. And for ethers, there we go, I believe it's 150 MP and 100 outside of battle. There's a reduced effect if you use it outside. Phoenix Downs can be used to resurrect your allies. Phoenix Pinion can also be used to resurrect your allies. It can't be used outside of a battle and has an additional effect, which we'll come on to when it becomes relevant. Elixirs are also quite rare. They fully restore the hit points and magic points of whoever they are used on, but they are quite rare. So with all that said and done, I think it's about time we jumped into the Ice Cavern and continued with the story. This must be the cavern. What's up, Vivi? Have you ever heard of the Ice Cavern? Sure. Is this the place? I think so. It's supposed to be near Evil Forest. Well, it is pretty near Evil Forest. I've heard of it. It's supposed to be a beautiful place covered in ice. My grandpa told me about this place. He said the cavern takes travellers to the top of the mist. Bravo, Master Vivi's grandfather must be quite a scholar. We must thank him upon escaping the mist. My grandpa used to teach me lots of things, but he passed away. Oh, forgive my indiscretion. Don't worry about it. Well, why don't we go inside? And welcome to the Ice Cavern. This is a pretty simple dungeon, for want of a better phrase. Pretty straightforward, nothing really to note. Oh, what a beautiful place. Seeing the actual cavern is so much better than reading about it. Oh, how pretty. I wonder what kind of flower this is. Princess! Princess, don't touch anything! Can we get moving? I'm freezing here. So, just to note about the Ice Cavern, as the name suggests, most of the enemies you're going to encounter here are icy in some way, shape or form. It's one of those elemental areas that are so common in roleplay games of any sort. Vivi's fire magic is therefore going to be very useful, as is the fire sword on Steiner, although the ability that Vivi has to target lots of bad guys and nuke them all in one go will be very useful to you. In the case of abilities, I mean, there isn't really anything to note massively here, because you don't really get much choice. You haven't really got enough abilities to be choosing which ones to take and which ones not to, but there are a couple of opponents that are weak to Beast Killer from Steiner. Apart from that, there's nothing else to really say before we get on. Oh, apart from, see those little bits where there appears to be a breeze? If you cross that path, you will be attacked by an opponent. There are also several parts in here where you can use Vivi's fire magic. This will actually be explained shortly, but you can use Vivi's fire magic to break through barriers, and sometimes this opens up another path, or it reveals a treasure chest or something like that. Speak of the devil. Let me just wait for this breeze to pass. Huh? What's this? What a strange wall. There's gotta be something behind it. Hey, Vivi. Yes? Can you break this wall down with your magic? I'm coming. Whoa! I knew it. See? There might be other walls like this. I'm counting on you, Vivi. Sure. Now, the game isn't mean enough to penalise you in terms of mana for Vivi using his fire magic to break through those regions. It's not that harsh. But there are several of those regions where often they have some sort of hidden treasure behind them. Before going up those stairs, by the way, you can come around the back here to get this treasure chest. Just waiting for this breeze to die down. There we go. And voila! One potion. Nothing particularly special. We'll wait for the breeze to die down again. The battles that you encounter if you do let the breeze hit you, they're against an opponent that, well, they're not that bad. They're just annoying and I can't be bothered to fight them. I might trigger a fight with one of them just to show you what it's like, to be fair. But they are just irritating more than anything. So, in fact, I might trigger it here. So we come up here and we have a fork in the path. We can go left or we can go straight on. I'm just going to wait for this breeze to come back up and then I will trigger the aforementioned fight. So you can see what opponent it is. Right, here we go. These blighters. I cannot remember their name for love nor money. We'll find out in a moment. Now, just before we continue, the thing they do that's really irritating is that they have a move that swaps their current hit points with your character's current hit points. So you bash these things down to low health, and then they just go, HP swap, mahaha! And you have to bash them down to low health again. They're really annoying because effectively it also does potentially a large amount of damage to a character. So they're just irritating. You want to focus them down individually and you want to kill them with great gusto. On that note, they are of course weak to fire magic. They're called weirds. They attack. They're also weak to Beast Killer, by the way. They attack with ice elemental magic and physical attacks. And Vivi is just... I could target this to all of them, but when you target all of your opponents, it tends to weaken the damage that the spell does to each one. So I thought I'd have Vivi nuke one of them, and all the rest of the characters can wail on whichever one is left. Now, as it is, I managed to finish this fight without either of those using the really annoying we're going to swap HP moves with you. But just to say they can do that, and it is annoying when they do. So, that being said, if we just push right on round here to the back... Huh? What's this? It's another region that Vivi can melt. Whoa. I think Zidane says that every friggin' time. And we are rewarded with an elixir. Quite an unusual item to come across, but nice when you do. So, this is another one. Just wait for that breeze to pass. We come across here, get the treasure chest, which has a potion inside. Wait for that breeze to stop. Ah, damn it. I didn't quite wait for the breeze to stop by the look of it. That's annoying. Or maybe it was a random encounter I was going to get anyway. Let's find out based on what opponent it is. Yeah, no, it was just a random encounter. So, here we have a couple of opponents that aren't that much of a threat, if we're going to be brutally honest. Going to attack the Cave Imp. Rusty Knife does a reasonable amount of damage. There we go, Cave Imp dead. But the Cave Imp doesn't have a huge amount of health. These things do some physical attacks, but the key point here is that Vivi can choose fire and murderize everything. With one move, Vivi is incredibly useful in this cavern. It does rather murder things in here. So we're doing a couple of attacks anyway, because why not? And then Vivi will just go, nope. And he'll take a leaf out of Roy Mustang's book and just kill them all. God bless a bit of fire magic here or there. And people are learning abilities, which is always nice. So whenever you've got someone who's learned an ability, it's always worth checking their equipment, just to see if there is another ability they could be learning. So we've now learned Cure and Panacea from the Rod. Still learning Protect though, so it's not worth swapping that out, even if I had something to swap it to. Leather Hat, nope. Wrist, nope. Silk Shirt, nope. Who else? Steiner learnt something, so he's got Bird Killer from his bronze armour. Nah, still learning Antibody, still learning Bug Killer, and still learning Beast Killer. So, nothing really worth doing there. But, That's right, melting that made the thing drop down. It makes all the sense. Sure, why on earth not? And then Zidane comes around, and you are rewarded with a Mage Masher. So if you didn't pick the Mage Masher up earlier on, you can have one now. Which is nice, but honestly, the Mage Masher was really useful to pick up at the time. Now, you've got a duplicate of this weapon, but don't just go ahead and sell the duplicate. Ditto, don't go ahead and sell your dagger, because there is a synthesis process in this game that will be mentioned later on, where you can turn basically stuff you ain't using anymore into useful things, and there are some items that can only be crafted that way. So that is worth bearing in mind. Anyway, on to the next region. So this is nothing particularly special. There's a chest over to the right hand side, just waiting for this breeze to die down. And we get a phoenix down. And then if we go over here, again, just waiting for this breeze to die down. And then there's another hollowed out area that Vivi can do his shtick with. Kaplowy. And you follow this path round and you are rewarded with another treasure chest. So none of these so far are required for you to proceed in the story. So far they've all just given you shinies, which is nice. What are the opponents this time round? Oh, it's another bunch of flans, and we even have a back attack that we're not going to use, and because there's an achievement for doing so, I'm going to have people defend while Vivi just wrecks them. And fire, and boom, and dead. Gotta love a little bit of fire magic here and there. There we go, that was an easy fight. And Vivi learns Thunder. Now you'll notice I'm also picking up cards with all of these battles. So let me just check Vivi's equipment. Nope. So Vivi has now learned every ability that he's currently able to with the equipment that I currently have for him. Let's go and have a look at the card menu. You can see that I have got quite a good selection of cards now. When we get to the next settlement, I might try and actually have a couple of card fights, just to show you that. Nonetheless, treasure chest contains a leather wrist. Now, this one is actually useful. Of your party, okay, the people who can use it, Garnet could equip it, but she can't learn any of the abilities on it. Steiner cannot equip it. Vivi can equip it, and he would learn Blizzard, Ice Elemental spell. It would also increase his stats. Zidane likewise can equip it, and he can learn Beast Killer, which is fairly nice, and it will also increase his stats. Because he's got a wrist and he's learning an ability anyway, I'm going to give it to Vivi to learn Blizzard. That seems to be prudent. Wait for the breeze to go away. And here you're faced with a choice. You can either go through the breeze, or you can take the slightly longer route round, but because it's a slightly longer route, of course, you risk triggering a random encounter. But those random encounters, generally speaking, are preferable to the I'm going to switch your HP and MP rounds because I'm an arse. So we're going to go with that. Black magic, fire, nuke them. There we go. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Katanajo. There we go, they're all dead. Hoorah. Some of these encounters really don't take very long. There we go. So, moving on to the next region. Now, the path up ahead forks. So we've got left or we've got right. Go left first. Do not go right first. Go left first. This is important. This is the only occasion where Vivi's melty blocks of ice is important for the story. There is a Moogle. Or rather important, it's not really even important for the story. I guess you could skip this out, but you don't want to. Huh? What's this? It's a Moogle encased in ice. That's what it is. Whoa. Hot, 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 hot! The Moogle is not happy. You bastards! Oh, I can move again. Thanks, Kupo! Silly Moogle is silly. Yes. Sorry, Loki was just asking if he really calls you bastards. The answer is yes. Teach me Mogster lesson 2. What is Mogster going to try and teach us this time? Hey bro, what are you going to teach me today? Lots of neat stuff. I'm going to give another interesting lecture today. Isn't that an oxymoron? Pretty sure there's no such thing as an interesting lecture, never mind. So, it's adding in status effects, elemental properties, and the card game onto the list. Elemental properties are pretty obvious. For anyone who's played computer games, fire magic is good against ice things. Thunder magic is good against water-based things, think Pokemon style stuff. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is slightly different, so do be a little careful. And the elemental matchups are a bit funky in this, things like, for example, dragons. Oh no, dragons are weak to ice. That is Pokemon, I think. Okay, never mind, bad example. But there are some examples of elemental matchups that you may not always expect. Status effects, I will get onto them when they're really relevant. I've mentioned poison and venom. And I've mentioned darkness, by the way, decreases your physical accuracy. So when I had the boss fight against the plant brain, I was using cures for that on physical characters. You're not going to have any random encounters in this room, and it gives you an opportunity to save your game and also keep up with your Mognet deliveries. Hey, you got to deliver a letter to Gumo for me, Kupo. Sure. Thanks, Kupo. I want mail, Kupo. Right, now. Just a moment. Shortly, Zidane is going to be thrown into a battle, all on his lonesome. So, let's heal everyone up. I could use a tent here to heal, but knowing how much mana and whatnot I'm going to need, I'm not going to do it. You'll automatically be healed when you get to the next village. So I'm not going to use a tent here, I'm just going to save the game. Let's save, Kupo. Now for the next... Right, I'm also going to take a moment to explain the next fight. Zidane is level 6, which is good, because it means he has that little bit more health. Zidane is going to be on his own. He's going to be facing off against 2 opponents. I'm going to explain this before we head right, because once you head right, you have a little sequence, and then it's just you facing off against the boss. I know, to be fair, I can probably explain the boss. There is a little pause, if memory serves. I'll explain it then, it's fine. We've saved the game, so let's press onwards and head right. Now, don't worry about this breeze, it doesn't contain bad guys. Here we go, you just have biting cold. Over here. Vivi, hurry up or you'll be left behind. I'm coming. Oh no. Oh no! Not like anyone actually goes to help him or warn him. Master Vivi, are you okay? Yo, Rusty, you're not alright, are you? What happened to you guys? Hey, Rusty, move it or lose it. Get up. It's no use. Oh no, Garnet, not you too. Garnet? She's out cold. Shoot, I'm falling asleep. There's a little bell tinkle. What's that sound? And Zidane hears it and wakes up. It came from over there. Is somebody there? And now he's going to commit the cardinal sin. He's going to split the party by wandering off. Now, this boss, the boss will summon a pet. And between them, they do actually have items that are worth stealing. However, because you've only got Zidane, this fight is relatively taxing. In terms of the items they're carrying, so the boss itself, it's an opponent called Black Waltz 1. It will bear a bit of a resemblance to Vivi. It looks like a black mage. He has a consumable and a piece of equipment that you've got before. It's not really important. His pet carries one bit of equipment you do want to be concerned about. It's a Mithril Dagger, because that would be an upgrade for Zidane. Again, you can pick up a Mithril Dagger later on, but it would just give you a more powerful weapon earlier on. They use relatively powerful magic between them. Because Zidane is on his own, however, Generally speaking, because he's on his own, his trance gauge will end up filling up faster. He'll get attacked more, he'll take more damage, etc. Because you don't have Garnet to heal you, this is where you want a respectable supply of potions to help out. How many potions do I actually have? 23 potions and 2 high potions, that should be fine. So, my recommendation would be, of the two opponents, the Black Waltz, despite the fact that it's the boss, the Black Waltz actually has the less health. So you want to kill the Black Waltz, also because if you attack his pet, the Black Waltz will heal his pet by casting ice magic on it because it's an elemental fiend, basically. So you want to kill the Black Waltz, and then once you've killed him, steal off of the Sea Lion until you get the Mithril Dagger, and then wail on the Sea Lion, making sure your health doesn't drop too low, bearing in mind that Sea Lion has a couple of attacks, that's his pet, that do around about 70 damage, so that's worth bearing in mind. With all that said and done, they're weak to fire. Oh, that's another thing. When Zidane goes into trance, providing you've got him equipped with a Mage Masher, that has 2 abilities for you. You've got Free Energy, which is the basic ability you get with the dagger, and now you also have Tidal Flame, which you saw me not use earlier on because I didn't want to hurt Garnet. Tidal Flame is really useful in this boss fight because it does a lot of damage and it's fire elemental, and both these guys are weak to fire. Paradoxically, I believe the Black Waltz is also technically weak to ice, but A, that seems a bit silly, and B, you don't have no opportunity to take advantage of that. Why didn't you fall asleep? You should be dead by now. Are you the one causing this blizzard? Oh, that's right. Tinkle, tinkle. And boss music. So, I'm going to wail on Black Waltz 1 to start off with. And then once he's dead, we're going to concentrate on stealing from the Sea Lion, because I only really care about the Mithril Dagger. And if I try and steal everything, I'm just going to be sat here getting attacked by both of them repeatedly, and it's going to be annoying. Ice Giant Sea Lion, come before me! So here's his pet. But remember, you want to wail on the Black Waltz first. Now, it's entirely possible you could be level 5 at this point. If Zidane is level 5, it just means, well, you'll be a bit worse. But it's not the end of the world. Now, their regular attacks, the Black Waltz is a little bit weaker. His magic attacks do around about 20 damage, give or take. The Sea Lion does about 30-40 damage with its regular attacks, and when it's pimped out, when it's using one of the more powerful attacks, like it learns 2nd level ice magic, for example, Blizzara, then it will do more damage. Now, frustratingly, I'm about to go into a trance here, which is kind of irritating. And it's kind of irritating because it's a bit wasted, because I want to be stealing stuff, but I am going to use 1 Tidal Flame. Oh no, I've killed the Black Waltz. Ugh, Sea Lion, kill him for me. I'm not actually going to use Tidal Flame here, because I want that Mithril Dagger. In the long run, that is more valuable to me. So we're going to waste our trance, because unfortunately you can't control when you get it. We're going to waste our trance stealing off of the Sea Lion. So that puts me down to 120 health. Let's put in 1 more theft. There we go, I've stolen the Mithril Dagger. So I've stolen everything I want from this fight. That's me out of trance. So now that the Black Waltz is dead, and bear in mind if you're not using the Mage Masher, and when I first played this game, I was not using a Mage Masher. I was just using the original dagger because I didn't realise they both had the same abilities, so there was no point using the dagger, but whatever. If you're just using the dagger, then instead of doing like 90 to 100 damage with each attack, you'll be down to like 50, 60, something around about there. But having killed the Black Waltz, I'm now going to wail on the Sea Lion. And I'm doing about 90 to 100 damage with each attack. So this guy should go down in about 5 attacks, give or take. He has around about 450 to 500 health. So. Blizzard. That'll do some damage to me, but not the end of the world. Go. Blizzara. Now this is one of his 2 big moves that can be quite painful. This will probably do about 80 damage. Oh no, only 56. Fair enough. The other one he does is Tsunami. Unfortunately, he did follow his Blizzara up with a quick wing. Now, I'm going to use a potion for my next move, because that tsunami can do around about 80 damage. That can be quite painful. He's only going to use Blizzard, that's fine. He uses Blizzard on me, puts me on 68. I'm using a potion to bump my health back up. And then we're going to keep wailing on him. It's just making sure, keeping your health topped up to make sure that, you know, if he does do something like a tsunami, it's not going to kill you. 88 there. Should only take, there we go, there's tsunami. He does it when he's below, I think it's maybe below half health or something like that. 81 damage. Technically it does damage to everyone in the fight, but the sea lion takes no damage from water-based attacks, which is what it is, because it's a sea lion. Arf, arf, arf. So I'm going to use another potion, just to make sure that I'm okay here. And also because Zidane will be fighting again after this boss fight. He'll reunite with your party and you'll potentially still have some combat to do. There we go, and the sea lion is dead. So even though it was 1 on 2, that's, I mean, it is a boss fight, but it's not horrendously taxing. Again, no experience but 5 ability points, which is none too shabby. And some cash as well. You defeated number 1, but number 2 and number 3 will reclaim the princess. Who's there? Oh, whatever. I've got to go back and check on them. And then ominously the camera pans up and it's the clowns. Oh, do you remember they were talking about an experiment being ready? So that was round 1. There are 3 of these black waltzes. They're essentially black mages. That was black waltz number 1. Black waltz number 2. None of the black waltz fights. Let me rephrase. I was going to say none of the Black Waltz fights are particularly easy. That's a lie. Black Waltz 1 isn't too bad. Black Waltz 2 is a pain. Black Waltz 3 is also a pain. You, what just happened? It was no big deal. You're hiding something. Hey, nothing happened. You heard me. You didn't touch the princess, did you? Just what are you accusing me of? Steiner, he said nothing happened. Why are you being so rude? My apologies, princess. Well, I'm glad everyone is safe. Shall we move on? Zidane, is something bothering you? No, it's nothing. Now, interestingly, Zidane as a character tends to keep things quite close to his chest. He's always kind of pretty upbeat and outgoing with people around him, even when bad, you know, when things aren't necessarily actually optimal. This is going to bite him on the bum later on a little bit. So we've almost learned Detect and Flee, which is awesome because then we can equip the Mithril Dagger and our attack will go up again. So Zidane will be doing even more damage and he's already the heaviest damage dealer in our party. Does that just allow me to go back down? I'm going to check, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing down here for you to collect or anything like that. Nah. It's just a place for VV and Steiner to fall down into. Oh dear. Right, so you just go up here. I mean, I don't think there's anything. Nah, you can't get anything from around the waterfall. So it's just a case of going up the top here. And leaving the ice cavern. We made it through the mist. Oh, the sun feels great. Look, there's a village. This is your next destination. I think I've been there before. It sounds like you've been everywhere, Zidane. The only other worlds I've visited are in books. You may have been to that village. Let's go visit. Wait, hold it. You're a princess. You can't just go rushing in there. People are looking for you. You need a new identity. Insolent fool! The princess need not sneak around. Besides, we're heading back to the castle. You leave her alone. And you will address her as princess from now on, you silly peasant. Damn it, Rusty, why don't you just shut up? Who do you think you are? I don't take orders from a stuck-up jerk like you. You guys, stop it, you two. Steiner, I do not intend to return to the castle. And I do see Zidane's point. I need a new name. Zidane, what is this called? The thing that he dropped when Steiner almost pushed him to his death. That's a dagger. All knives of that length are called daggers. Short swords are a bit longer. The big sword you hold with both hands is called a broadsword, and... oh, okay, I understand now. Zidane was mansplaining just a little bit. He looks so defeated, so this is called a dagger. Princess, it's a weapon. Please be careful. I've decided from now on my name is... and this is the point at which you get to name Garnet. You can't change the name Garnet, but you can choose what she decides to call herself as. Now, obviously, because she just picked up a dagger, you expect her name to be Dagger. That is the default. That is what the game suggests you go with, but you don't have to go with that. You can go with whatever you want. So... yeah, I know people who've called her douche, I know people who've called her any one of a variety of things. You can call her whatever you want. I'm just going to stick with the default Dagger. I will be called Dagger from now on. What do you think, Zidane?
Dagger is a white mage name.
Is that okay with you? Now, I love the irony that she's a white mage and she is named after a stabby thing. Anyway, is that okay with you? This is basically saying, are you sure you want to go with that name or not? So let's go with yes. Great, Dagger. Now let's work on your speech. Try to sound more casual, like me. I shall try. No. What would Vivi say? Just say, alrighty. Alrighty. You're getting the hang of it. Well, let's go. Onwards! Right. So, at this point, we'll save the game. That was the Ice Cavern. The village of Dali, which is where we're intending to visit, is just over yonder. You can just about see it. But there's one or two places we're going to visit in the interim. So, next time we shall be, well, messing around until we get to the village of Dali. I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care. Ciao, ciao.